Is John Davidson here, political editor at the Federalist with Chris Bedford. We're in Door County, Wisconsin, which is just north of Green Bay. And we came up this morning from Milwaukee, where we'd spent a day or two writing about the suburbs of Milwaukee, the riots there in Wauwatosa, which I guess are ongoing. And it's a very different scene, though, up here in rural Wisconsin, Green Bay area, Door County. We stopped at a dairy farm earlier today and talked with a farmer who told us that Trump has delivered on a lot of the things that the farmers care about. He mentioned USMCA and also the aid that the Trump administration has been able to bring in for dairy farmers and large agricultural operations during the COVID pandemic has helped them a lot through some difficult times.
Yeah, a lot of farmers are already kind of culturally conservative leaning, Christian family people, rural people. They are going to vote in their issues, but people were wondering for a while, are they going to stick with Donald Trump when foreign countries that he's having trade wars with are targeting his base? And they know who to target. They know that they can't just sanction people in Washington. They're gonna hurt the voters to try and undermine American politicians. They were doing that, but as he pointed out, this is not an instant trade-off. This is not a quick business. He's a third-generation dairy farmer. This is like they're in it for the long haul. They take these decisions very, very differently, and they thought that President Trump was going to give them a good year and much more favorable trading conditions, and it seems that he did. Now, unfortunately for them, they hadn't had a good year since 2014.
That's right.
This was supposed to be their first year where they were doing better than breaking even.
And they were on track. They were on track to do well before the pandemic hit.
So they've been set back, but they are optimistic that because the aid came through quickly and easily, they were able to survive, and that everything is still in place for them to succeed. Now, these are interesting and different. The reason why we came up here and then out into the farms is because some of the suburban women, the Paul Ryan supporters, the more educated, college-educated Republicans that typically had supported GOP candidates have left. And in their place, in the suburbs of Milwaukee, in their place have come the rural voters and the working class voters and the farming voters who might have traditionally voted Democrat, who are now with Donald Trump.
An interesting thing about Wisconsin, contrary to maybe a lot of stereotypes or assumptions that Americans elsewhere in the country have about rural Wisconsin and Wisconsin farms, a lot of farms in Wisconsin and a lot of rural areas in this state have a long tradition of voting Democrat. It's a cultural thing, it's a historical thing, but it's something that's changing. And a lot of those areas those more rural areas that have been Democratic in the past are areas that are flipping to Trump. And there was a large number of counties and areas in Wisconsin that flipped in 2016. Door County, where we are now, being one of them, that had voted for Obama in 08 and 12 and in 2016 flipped. And it sounds like it may hold red again this time around.
Yeah, there are a lot of Republican supporters there, but there are also Trump supporters. But it's a strange thing. A lot of Republicans who support the local candidate, Representative Kitchens, state candidate, but maybe don't support the president. They don't like his style. They don't like his bombastic behavior. And Door County is an interesting place. It's stunningly beautiful. It's very much like Cape Cod, except with even more access to water, a peninsula out into the Great Lakes, with fishing, with industry, with a shipyard, but also with a lot of retirees, with young people who come out there to be with nature, with the environmentalist sector. There's a whole crew of people, working class, wealthy, middle class, vacationers.
It's a big mix.
Yeah, people coming from the city, all different kinds of politics. Used to be reliably red, but voted for Barack Obama twice, and now has come back, voted for Donald Trump. Some of the problems that Democrats saw in the area that we were able to talk to so far is that there was no real campaign. Hillary Clinton took Wisconsin for granted. Unfortunately for the Democrats, that does not appear to have changed. And a lot of Republicans who might have been, even though some have been pushed away, others who didn't vote for Trump in 2016 seem to be coming back to the party and wanting to vote for him now.
Yeah, that some of the promises that Trump made and some of the things he said he was going to do, he's done. And proved to be as good as his word. And a lot of voters here have noticed that, and I think that's a pattern. We'll see if that's a pattern that's going to hold as we move west toward the farms and the rural areas in western Wisconsin, which we're headed to tomorrow.
So tune in. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Bedford with the Federalist here.
John Davidson, and we'll have more soon.